Forget about what the calendar says. Football season is right around the corner, and that means Best Ball Week at DraftKings isn't far behind. Here's what you need to know. DraftKings Best Ball Millionaire Contest is their biggest fantasy contest ever. We're talking 15 million guaranteed prize pool with that's right, 2 millionaires being crowned for first and second place.
If you're a set it and forget it type, then Best Ball is for you. No waiver wires, no roster management, bigger roster so injuries won't end your season. Only the draft, and that's it. You're set for the season. And $15 million in prize money is no joke. Still not convinced? Check this out. This year, DraftKings is offering everyone a Draft One, Get One special. Your $20 entry fee scores you a bonus ticket.
Get ready for Best Ball Week at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket. Only during Best Ball Week. Only on DraftKings.
And we are live.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, August 8th, and we've just been over here rooting for the United States of America's basketball team like we were fucking teenagers. That's the most fun.
USA. Caw-caw.
Oh, no. Rah.
That's the game sign. That's
the
game sign.
That's what we're throwing up.
The Eagle. We throwing up the Eagle.
Yeah, we're throwing up Eagles.
Yeah,
Eagles in the chat.
Yeah, y'all enjoy that.
Bird calling.
Bald Eagles in the chat, nigga.
Doing this shit for Miss Gladys.
We're talking about the USA basketball game. Such a fun fucking game. We're talking all the other Olympic action, and I'm gonna need someone actually to send me some reading on this. But I had like 4 people tweet me that they want us to talk about Kanye's dentist. I don't know what that means yet, but I think we got to talk about Josh.
Did he get his teeth taken out?
Actually, no. Yeah, you know what, Josh? Why don't you look up Kanye's dentist, and then we'll bring you on at the end to intro it.
Yeah. All right. I'm on.
I think I know what that story's about, but no spoilers. We're gonna
no spoilers. Okay, we're gonna watch it in prime time, so we don't want to spoil it. We're gonna let Mike Tirico tell us about it. All right. As always, Jenkins and Jones, hosted by Dragonfly Jonez, aka Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a good.
LaJethero Jenkins, aka John.
What's up, Bubbles?
I'm Guardy B, aka Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we're produced, as always, by the lovely and talented Josh Rodriguez. Josh, thank you for being here.
How you doing?
I'm fucking great. I'm great. Gentlemen, was that the most fun watching basketball you've had in quite some time?
Oh, I was over this motherfucker hooting and hollering. I tell you that damn much. If you know how many times I slapped my couch arm watching this goddamn game, the fucking ghost slaps. I was turned, bro. Like it was. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I was sweating for a minute. At the start of the second half, I was like, okay, that third quarter run's probably going to happen, and I think that USA is going to hit that gear that Serbia can't keep up with, and it did. It happened for a bit, and Serbia ate that shit, and I was like,
actually,
yeah, and I was like, yo, we are in trouble. And then that fourth quarter happened, where it got started. We got to give him his props, Joel Embiid.
Got to give him a lot of props.
We got to give him a lot of fucking props. Yeah, he had that run where he had 7 straight and had that block at the cup. But I think what all of us are going to remember from this game, what all of us are going to take away is Bron, KD, and Steph closing it out. Where, we discussed so many times how that's probably going to be our favorite era of basketball, how we've just been so sentimentally attached to these dudes who have just been staples for 20, 15 years in the NBA. And dog, like after the high wore off of seeing those dudes close it out, I got emotional. I legit got emotional. Like I'm someone who's seen the MJ Bulls era, the Kobe and Shaq era. I don't think I'll ever love in any era of basketball more than I love Bron, KD, Steph era.
I mean, I told you like last game, I saw a moment where Bron helped Steph up. And I felt like, I told you, like the Grinch, like, oh shit, like that shit touch a nigga. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like, like we get to watch them play ball. Like, it's so much fun when I'm rooting for these guys and don't have to root against them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But in that fourth quarter, like I said, like before you hopped on, Tyler, I was like, it felt like, it was like, okay, the adults are watching an adult movie now. Kids go to sleep. It's gonna get real NC-17 on this motherfucking defensive side, my nigga. We strapping down, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel like this right here makes me feel like how Kobe was in 2012, where like they weren't the best. He wasn't the best player in the league anymore. But in the end of the game, when it was time and it's against Spain, they was like, hey, let Kobe do his thing. Kobe's been here before. And it's just seeing those three, like, this is what I've done for 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, the big boys is playing. Let's see what time it is. And seeing Steph shoot the way he was shooting, Bron finishes the cup, KD doing KD shit on both ends too. Steph got the steal. You know what I'm saying? Bron standing up against Joker. KD doing his thing. Like, I mean, it was just beautiful basketball. And I felt like, wow, I get to watch this.
Yeah.
So I understand the emotion completely, bro. I was definitely emotional watching it. But yeah, I was scared for a moment, bro. I was like, damn, like 15-point lead, 13-point lead with 8. Well, like, this ain't a regular fourth quarter. 8 minutes. But by like I think about 7 minutes and 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? By like 7 minutes and 17 seconds, they already had that motherfucker down to like 7 or something. Like, okay, they sitting on all, you know what I'm saying? Like they locked in. So bro, it's beautiful, beautiful basketball. It was a joy to watch that fourth quarter for sure.
It felt like watching basketball. Like, and by the way, it's really funny that the three of us are thousands of miles apart, did not watch the game together, but all three of us were doing and going through the exact same shit at the exact same times. Because I was with Tyler, I was like, end of the first half, I was like, these motherfuckers are bullshitting. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's, So second half, you're like, all right, time to like light claps, right? Like time to lock in. Let's go. About halfway through the third, when they swallowed that, started growing it back out, you're like, all right, we'll get it down to like 6 or 7 at the end of the third, run them off the court in the fourth. They closed that third quarter like that, bro. Like, dude, Vinny and I drove Maya out of the room because we were acting too crazy in the fourth quarter. Like we were losing our fucking minds, dog. I told John, he was jumping around screaming, let's fucking go. And we cut it to 7 in the fourth, bro.
You kind of knew it was over at that point, though. That was when you kind of knew, like,
you could feel it swinging.
You could feel it, like, okay, there's 12 NBA players and 3 of the best of all time, probably top 10, NBA players that are all the way locked in. Joker's a great basketball player, but the lemon booty's gonna show up for the rest of them niggas for sure.
But like all the takes got scooped out of our hearts and replaced with just genuine love of basketball again.
Sure.
It was, you know what I mean? You were like, I don't give a fuck about any of this Tatum shit. I'm not making any jokes about the Celtics. I'm not gonna point out that Jaylen Brown and Chris Stapps are following all of the craziest right wing. Like all that disappeared completely, and you're just like, I love this team. I want to get to see them play. I want to get to see them play another medal against France in Paris. Like that shit's gonna be crazy on Saturday, bro. But I told John, that's what had me stress the fuck out. I was like, you can't let this be a 1-point game with 5 seconds left or some shit, because I know France would rather see Serbia in the gold medal game than the USA. I'm not trying to have the FIBA reps, and FIBA is, all these organizations are based in Paris, dog. You know what I mean? So I'm like, please, for the love of God, we gotta grow this shit out. And when Steph Curry stepped to the line to ice that shit, that's what John and I were talking about. Bogey played like a demon today. Jokic, unbelievable. But Steph stepped to the free throw
forever
line.
too. I love Bogey,
forever.
but fuck Bogey forever, dog.
He was like a 90s action movie villain today.
He was so like I wanted them to win, so he had to shut the fuck up. He was way too arrogant to be Bogey. Like I love your NBA player, you're great. He was playing a hell of a game. But dog, you're talking to Carmelo Anthony? Take your ass the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's where he crossed the line.
That's when the patriotism bubbled over.
That's why I was like, yeah, USA. You feel me?
Clip that, please. Like, clip that, please. Thank you.
Talking to fucking Melo? Oh, hell no, nigga. He was tweaking.
But
bro.
We were talking about, like, they got the lemon booty caught up with them. They're shooting 50% from 3. We continue to give them open looks. They missed 4 or 5 wide open threes in the fourth quarter, but the lemon booty caught up with them. Then you see Steph step to the line, and he's laughing. He's laughing at the Serbian bench, bro. He is chewing on the mouthpiece, laughing at those motherfuckers. Like, do you not know who I am? Do you think I'm going to miss one of these free throws?
Before he was fouled. When they thought about fouling him, that was 2 points. Give it to me, bro. He's like, this is what like cheesy. This is how I've lived for the last 2015. This is me. This is I'm home here. I ain't missing these motherfuckers. So yeah, bro, it was man, that was special. I kind of didn't want the fourth quarter to end. You know what I mean? It had a special moment that I'll remember for a long time. Watching them play together, but also how they played together. So
Tyler, did you catch that moment between Bron and Steph after the game of just hyping each other up? That was when I got a little emotional, like John was talking about.
Hey, bro, I am shamelessly rooting for Steph to come to LA. I don't give a fuck anymore. I have posted memes and everything. I have posted Photoshop memes of Steph in a Lakers jersey next to Bron in a Lakers jersey. Make that shit happen. Whatever it fucking takes. I do not care. I am all in. Get Steph and Bron together, bro.
Even if it's bad basketball, like if they're past their prime, I just want to see them play together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
it won't be bad basketball.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's kind of made me emotional is knowing that, unfortunately, given the circumstances that Bron, KD, and Steph are in, this is probably the last. This turn is probably the last meaningful basketball we might see from them during their careers. So there's that aspect of it too. And it's like, bro, when it's winning time, those motherfuckers still got it. Yep. You know what I mean? And that's just something that I think we've all dealt with, during the course of the NBA season. It's like, bro, Steph is still good enough to lead you to a championship. Bron is still good enough to lead you to a championship. KD is still good enough to lead you to a championship. But the situations they're in, just bad breaks,
Yeah, I mean, fucking, CJ McCollum decided with the NBA that the best 3 or 4 guys in the world shouldn't get to decide what happens in the playoffs anymore, which I would argue there were many things that were good about those guys deciding what was happening in the playoffs.
CJ McCollum, you will be remembered as the worst president of the Players Union. The Ronald Reagan of presidents of the Players Union, dog. Like the worst fucking CBA ever negotiated, dog. God damn.
Let's see what else did I have on this shit. Yes, you mentioned Embiid. I mean, I think we have to give Embiid a lot of credit because I was one of the people making jokes. It was fun to make the jokes. They've been booing his ass. He was talking about he was feeling hurt before this game, and I think a lot of other people thought he was laying the groundwork for like, I'm not gonna be able to go, and he showed up, bro. And he was dunking the ball.
He wanted that shit too. Like he got in Jokic's chest for those buckets. Yeah,
him and Joker coming back and forth, and everybody like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm really trying to let you know who's who around this motherfucker. And he looked like the guy, dog. He went right up against MVP and was giving him fucking fits. G, you know what I mean?
I have no criticism of that man for not wanting to play with Cameroon and be done a month ago or whatever the fuck. I would want to sit at our lunch table too, Joel.
He ain't want to play in the D League, bro. You know what I mean? He's an NBA player, nigga. Like cool. Good for y'all.
You can hang out with us. We hate the same dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that gold game. Like I wanted Canada and USA at the start of this shit, but France with young fixins there, playing for the
young
gold.
Freddie Fixins,
playing for the gold, in Paris. Like that's good TV right there, man. Very much looking forward to that.
Also, just to shout the chat really quick, because they've been on fire. The chat is absolutely on fire right now. People saying Joel became an American today and his citizenship is certified for this. Also, shout out to Miles. He called Bogdanovic Ivan Drago of basketball, which I think is hilarious.
That's a fact,
it felt
dog.
like that, bro. It felt like that, nigga.
Because I'm with John. I love Bogey, but this whole game, I probably told him to shut the fuck up 50 times today.
Bro, I love his game. Wherever he's gone, I've loved what he's brought to a team. You know what I'm saying? He's fun to watch. But yes, shut your goofy ass up. All of a sudden, you're a goofy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? When he started talking to Mel, I'm like, what? But talking about the lemon booty, it was funny hearing people, was it Wade that was like, knuckleball? Like as soon as he said that, we saw them dicks shrivel right the fuck up, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Those shots got bigger stakes on them right now.
Like, right. That Audi became an any nigga. You know what I'm saying? That shower became a grower, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dog.
Wade was perfect. He was perfect
he
today.
Knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, bro, he's.
I loved how you saw the homerism hop out for him at certain times.
Hell yeah,
he was calling shit flops when they were flops and shit. Like yeah, I've enjoyed Wade on the commentary, man.
Me too. Hey, bro, they're not listening to Dwayne Wade in Serbia. They got Serbian Dwayne Wade in fucking Serbia. Like he's talking to America. I want to hear a little. I want to hear it. I want to hear it pop out a little bit. You know what I mean?
And the way they was flopping too, we talked about that shit with Steph, bro. That nigga did a backward somersault almost from like a Steph breeze.
Oh no. Okay, no. 20 seconds left. 2-point basketball game, and you're trying to draw he just knocked my block off charge.
You're
on a flop
your
against Steph Curry
under his arm, and when he makes a single move, you do a backward somersault. Like that's what just happened. Like that's the nastiest dastardly shit. Fuck that shit.
I told John, Tyler, they almost set me back 20 years with language that we're not allowed to use. I almost said a word I don't want my son to know when they did that shit. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind right now? Like, hoop up. It's fucking hoop time, bro.
Right, nigga, strap up, nigga.
Double step to get the ball out of his hand and make him, try and get the ball to someone that's not Steph to make him make a free throw. Don't
your son's watching, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you got children watching, and you gonna do some pussy shit like that, nigga? Fuck you mean? Goofy ass nigga,
disgracing your motherland in front of all
you
of us.
Feel me? Your lineage is the ancestors are disgusted with that action, bro.
That's what I said. I said, now you're really acting like a bitch. That's what I said. They got a lot of bitches in Serbia. I said, you really acting like a bitch right now. Yeah, Tyler said, bro, it's baguette time on Saturday now. And I could not be more excited for this. We're going to get Gobert slander. We're going to get to watch that stadium is going to be crazy because it's a huge USA crowd there too. Mm-hmm. I hope it's like 50-50 going crazy on Saturday, bro. Yeah. But when we win that gold, we were talking about this too before we started recording. We win that gold and we see all those dudes we were just talking about standing on top of the podium together the last time. Like John said, probably maybe the last moments like this we're going to see from those dudes. That's going to be fucking emotional as fuck, bro. That is going to be really emotional.
Yeah. Getting emotional just think about that shit.
I know, low key, bro.
It's crazy. I know. Same. It's crazy. But the other thing is, if we want to get a little bit takey with it, like this team in 4 years, bro, some people are going to have to grow up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Some people are going to have to grow the fuck up because you are looking at, I mean, you want to list all the injuries that Bron and Steph and KD have cumulatively over the course of their career. We're dependent on dudes in their advanced 30s with that history. That's like also, they sat all those motherfuckers down. He didn't even play Johnny Hustle guys, bro.
I mean, the thing is though, like it's a hope. Like I think who said FIBA was more difficult to score? Was it Luka? He said it's more difficult because FIBA, like it's a must. You understand basketball. Hooping will get you really far in the NBA. You know what I mean? There's not like, and I think a lot of the young cats are hoopers, but they ain't really figured out basketball in the way they need to get to where they, you know what I mean? Ant, he has some learning to do. Tatum, he has to learn how to play back, like taking care of the ball, making good decisions. Like he showed that he could be that way in the last finals, but consistently, like you have to be a basketball player. You know, I think like, a lot of these young guys haven't got there yet, where these dudes, IQ-wise, are God tier. And they also won a genetic lottery. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they also work harder than anybody else. You feel me? And it shows up in these games. And I feel like they just really they don't watch tape like these guys have. And they'll get there. But that's where we're going to have to grow up with just IQ, playing basketball. We know you can hoop, but can you play basketball? You know what I mean? So understanding the game. So I think that's where they're at.
Yeah, there's for sure like a brand of FIBA basketball where it's focused on ball movement, it's focused on guys, making the right movements off ball and making the right cuts, on spacing and shooting. It's the reason why the Spurs were so ahead of the curve, right? Because they were like the first franchise to embrace Euroball, right? That's the reason they won 5 rings in 15 years because they were ahead of the curve there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I think, the biggest takeaway that we might get from this Olympics, if the USA wins gold or if they don't, is that the world is caught up, and we can't just roll out just, a collection of the best guys anymore and expect to moonwalk to the gold. I mean, especially like I said, when you're playing guys who know how to play basketball the right way. And these are dudes who have played together like every summer since they were 14, 15, right? Like they've got that chemistry there. They know each other. And yeah, man, I'm very concerned about where the USA goes from here, for the next few Olympics, because it ain't gonna be no cakewalk.
Well, because when John mentioned that 2012 London team that Kobe was on, you knew that Braun was a guy after Kobe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We already knew that. You do not know that right now. We can all say we want it to be Ant. You can't say after what you've seen you can't say that's going to be Ant is taking the mantle from, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Jordan to Kobe to Braun to. We're gonna have to find out.
It might be the dude on the other end next game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as far as who's gonna be the guy in the NBA,
I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be at the Intuit Dome. It's gonna be at the Clippers at the Clippers Arena in LA 2028. That is going to be a fucking war, bro. Because you can't tell me Serbia doesn't smell blood after that game. Like, we'll see y'all in 4 years when all these motherfuckers are retired.
For sure. Yeah, and they'll still have Joker. Joker, you know what I'm saying? Like, Joker probably still, like, who, if you, Brian, Katie, and Steph ain't going to be there, like, what time is it with y'all? You feel me? I don't know, bro. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, I just don't, there's no guarantee. And I also like with skills, like how skilled those three are.
Yeah.
Like what on the young crop, who's that skilled? Like who I know Ed Edwards is great. I know Tatum's bag is deep, but like in the moments that are big, we're like, Steph knows exactly what he needs to do. Brian knows his game. He stepped out a little bit where he took that three. That ain't your game, brother. You try to drop your nuts a little bit.
Actually, taking and missing that three is unfortunately part of the game.
The last couple of years. Yeah. But like, KD knows exactly what spots he needs to go to. You know what I mean? I don't know if we see that. And I think that comes with like IQ and maturity, but we haven't really seen that. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how these guys develop for sure, though. There's a lot of talent. There's no guarantees, like you said.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. And I hope that, because this is the other thing.
Booker might go crazy, though. Booker might be.
It could be.
I
wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
At least on the Olympics, it could be Booker. You know what I mean?
But I think, we had Jack McCollum on to talk about his book about the Dream Team. I love that book. Any of these behind the scenes looks you get at USA Basketball, all these dudes talk about what it means to them. Like Braun talked about what that meant to him, to have Kobe looking at him like, it has to be you. Like, and Kobe, it's just like, so this stuff rubs off on people. I sincerely wouldn't be surprised if Joel Embiid is a change. Like, you know what I mean? He comes back as a different guy. It's different. You go spend a month together with the best of the best. You got Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra. You're hearing the stuff that the best coaches in the league that are driving you crazy are saying and doing every day. Like, I do think we've heard a lot about how that rubs off on guys. So I'm curious to see, but I hope it lights a fire under someone's ass. You know what I mean? Like,
as like you talk about Embiid changing, like as somebody who's like struggled with health issues and stuff like that. And a lot of it he can't really control that much. You know what I mean? He's 7 foot the way he moves and plays. It's kind of difficult to stay healthy. But if you're seeing like how these guys that have been at the top of the game for so long are moving, you know what I mean? Like you're like, it's not like you know them or hear about it. You're watching them day in and day out for weeks, months.
You're watching LeBron James leave a party that you really want to be at because he's going to be asleep at 8:30 p.m. He's going to be asleep at 8:30
from the Achilles, who came back from the Achilles injury. You know what I'm saying? How has he got to this level? You watch how he moves. You're watching Steph's meticulousness, you know what I'm saying, with how he works on his game. You're seeing these things. KD too. They said KD's warm-ups. Like Wade was talking about this in one of the things in between the game. It's on like KD's warm-ups, like the way we talk about Steph and how he's exciting. But KD goes game speed. So when he's in the game, there's no difference. On nobody, he's going game speed. You know what I'm saying? Taking game shots. So when you see this shit, like, how do you not know this is what I'm trying to beat? I have to, at minimum, do what they're doing.
Right.
At minimum. You know what I'm saying? So.
Chat saying Zion for 2028 if he's healthy. Also, I'd like to add Cooper Flag. Might be a little early. But...
American hero.
People love Cooper. How do y'all feel about I mean, seeing how he played against those boys, he's very confident. You know what I'm saying? But like, didn't the Dream Team get cooked? You know what I'm saying? By Hurley and them, college kids. Grant Hill was on that team, I think.
Yeah, it'll be too early for Cooper. It'll be too early for Cooper. But I think in 4 years, Anthony Edwards is going to be a completely different player than he is now. I mean, this was his first real playoff run. It wouldn't surprise me in 4 years if he has an NBA ring and the experience as a number one option.
Yeah.
So
I think
he'll be that dude.
Y'all who I'm really high on too. probably to Mike's behest, but motherfucking Chet Holmgren, bro, in 2028, I think Chet's one of those guys. He has potential to be all NBA, all defense. He's one of those guys. And if we get like Wemby, there's for sure going to be there is a rivalry, a personal rivalry budding between those guys. If we get like a team rivalry with OKC and San Antonio that develops over the years, and then we get like a France USA game with those two going at it in 2028, that's cinema, bro.
You think they can make me root for Chet Holmgren?
So how do you, so you as far as Chet, you think he's going to be a guy on the USA team, or he's like, okay, I thought he's going to be the guy or a guy.
I don't know if the guy, but he's
okay.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's a starter in 2028.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, like when we talk about the future of USA basketball, this is the difference of the position that we're in versus Serbia or France or anyone else, bro. Our 3 of the best 15 players, 20 players ever retire. Let's reload with like 65%, 70% of the NBA we could pick from or whatever, right? It's a better position to be in. It's just interesting to me because you guys said the rest of the world is caught up. They've caught up to where you have to play in games like this that are real nervy, you know what I mean? Like lemon booty type games. So,
but 80% of the team are not NBA players on the best teams. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
Man, all right. Yeah, it was crazy seeing. Like,
it was a crazy game, bro.
Wade flat out saying, knuckleball, and you shoot different, and the game. Like I was like, oh, the lemon booty caught up, nigga. It got him. Like that one moment he called it out, and they never looked the same team after that. And you
could hear the smile on his voice.
Right. He just yelled it, knuckleball. And nigga, I'm like, he's so more of this, please. I hope whoever the powers that be, the decision makers are watching this, because it is a huge miss if you have him that's in between games talking, you know what I'm saying, post-game shit. In game, he's great. You know, he's a totally different level in game as a commentator. So,
well, and I just hope they keep him. The chemistry with Iron Eagles is obvious at this point. And obviously we're the world's foremost take havers about Mike Tirico.
Hey, I think what Wade has in his toolbox that makes him so good at this is he's actually liked by these guys, right? Yeah. like that's the difference between like him and Reggie is that Wade has all these little tidbits about inside jokes and stuff because he's one of the guys. You know what I mean? Like he's in that circle with them. And
do you think they don't like Reggie now? I thought they didn't initially. I think they might fuck with him a little. They don't like him. You can feel it.
That man started his broadcasting career like what 2011, 2012, and his catchphrase was "Welcome to your Kodak moment." Who the fuck was using cameras in 2012, bro?
We had like phones did.
Who the fuck was using Kodak cameras? They should have sent a cease and desist on that nigga, dog. Because this is historical
for the brand.
Yeah, and it's corny on top of that.
Reggie, we don't even self-film anymore.
Yeah, the fuck?
Cease and desist, nigga. Oh my god!
But I love what was the joke? Like at the end of the third quarter, Dwayne Wade made a joke to Iron Eagle about him being a short ass. He's like, I know you know about. It was always Braun said too short, and he was like, I know you know a little something about that.
That's that. You only said the people
big
you
talk
like.
From the 6'4" guy right there, right? Who's on the shorter side of things on the NBA scale.
But I love it. And then Iron was like, okay, all right, I'll file that one away.
Okay,
like,
I got you.
Together, bro.
I'll see you later on in the season. You know, I had something for that ass. You heard me? I like that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the other Olympic stuff. I know all three of us have really been enjoying the what's been going on the track. Let's start off by talking about the incredible comeback in the 400 meter that Quincy Hall had last night. I think he was in 5th place with 100 meters to go. If you're around track, the 400 meter is the cruelest thing we do to people.
400 are just evil. Everybody that runs them hates them and loves them at the same time.
And like, you know, they've talked about it, I think a little on the broadcast, but track people know it. It's, you know, we always call whoever the 800 meter winner in California is, we call that the king of pain, you know, because it literally changes how your body is metabolizing energy to try and give max effort for that amount of time and that distance. It's like not really something people should be doing. And for Quincy Hall, it looked like he was dead. His face was like, he was gone with 100 meters left. You really never see that at any level, much less at the Olympics. someone who's dead with 100 meters left in the 400 to come back and then ends up winning gold. And I wanted to get your guys' take on his quote afterwards when he said, "I knew I had to be a dog. Can't outrun a dog because the dog's never going to stop chasing you."
I thought that was a hard ass quote, but I heard that. I was like, this motherfucker has never been chased by a dog before in his life. Dogs give up very easily, dog. And someone who has been chased by quite a few dogs, some motherfuckers give up quick. Like, you cross the street and that might be it. They might just sit on that curb and just stare at you forlornly as you run off into the sunset. Like, dogs give up very quickly, but I got the sentiment of it. And it's a hard ass quote regardless.
It's a hard ass quote.
Watching him run that race, bro, like those last 100 meters, it wasn't like his form collapsed. You know what I mean? It became a fight. He was like, I can take more pain than anybody else on this fucking, on this track. You feel me? Like, it seemed like he was willing to die on that track to get that goal. Like, I put all this work into it. There's no way I'm going out like this. Fuck everything else. This moment is, these last 100 meters are the only thing in the world that matters to me, bro. And like, if you look at his, like the pain in which usually when people's form starts breaking down, they start slowing up because their body is, he fought through that and still caught them, bro. It was just beautiful. Slugged up country as shit. We don't claim Missouri, but I do claim the Show Me State. You know what I'm saying? Show Me USA. Yo, it was beautiful.
What's the relationship between St. Louis and Kansas City, Missouri? Is it?
We don't.
Rivalry there?
We in state, we don't fuck with each other. Like, we always be clown. We clown each other a little bit. But when we like out here, when I meet a Kansas City nigga, you know what I mean? It's love. I was playing golf with a Kansas City nigga. He was a crib. He's playing golf and shit.
Those are tough city initials to have as a crip, bro.
Yeah. My the other crip I know, where's those? Yeah, there's something else. But
Kansas City has historically.
We ain't gonna get into it, but I have another friend that's affiliated, and
But Kansas City, they've always had like a unique relationship with the Bay, bro. But the Bay and Kansas City are like fucking cousins, man. I don't know how that came about, but yeah.
What's interesting about the Bay too is like the way we talk and like, how we move in St. Louis is very, like Hellas, we do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like how we pronounce our words. A lot of them is very similar to the Bay. Like, I always wonder what the connection was there, but we talk very similar. Like people will go to Chicago. Somebody from the Bay my homegirl from the Bay went to school in Chicago, and the way she talked, she was like, "Why you talk like that? You ain't from St. Louis." It's like that. We say hellas in the Bay. What you mean? We do this in the Bay. What you mean? So there's an odd connection there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's basically because a lot of Kansas City love Bay rap for whatever reason. A lot of Bay rappers will go out to Kansas City and do shows and make bread and shit. Mac Dre unfortunately got killed in Kansas City. Like though the Bay and Kansas City got ties, man.
Did you see the clip of Quincy Hall's family in the living room losing their shit for him when he won the gold, John?
I didn't see it.
What does
the living room look like?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it looks like the living room you showed us pictures of. You know what I mean?
Okay,
it's just it was
like a hell.
And like, it's and I love all the track athletes, but it's like some of them have 30 people there with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those 30 people, the Olympics doesn't hand you like, here's a gift certificate for you to bring all your people out on United.
Right.
And we'll buy them tickets. It costs quite a bit of money. Like, and I know like people in Long Beach do this. They'll go fund me. It's like, please help my mom come to the Olympics so she could see me. Right. Like, and I had a lot of like Quincy Hall was just there. Quincy Hall, his whole family is watching the shit on TV. You know what I mean? Like, and I just, to me, that was like, you have to respect that dude even more. The loneliness of being at the Olympics out there, just like, I got to come home with something versus I brought my whole history. I brought my mom and my dad and my high school coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was, I gained a different level of respect for him after that race.
I think he's sponsored by like what, Adidas or New Balance or some shit like that, but he's not a guy yet. He had like a 11th. I followed him before, like maybe like during the quarterfinals, like the time races initially, because I wanted to see. I saw he was slugged up. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, let me find out who the fuck this nigga is. You know what I'm saying? He running the 400. Like, first of all, the 400, that's an evil race. And you talking about dog shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he slugged up. This is a nigga I need to follow. You feel me?
But he's so crazy. He's a 400-meter hurdler. who switched to the 400, I think like last year or something.
Yeah,
so that's so
yeah.
to him, he's so crazy. He thinks the 400 is the easy race. Like,
Bro, man. But yeah, G, like, and you talking about the 800 too. Like, I running track in college, I didn't realize the 800 was a sprint until I actually, you know, I'm like, wait, these
because in
niggas
most high schools,
sprinting
it's
this
not
hard.
a sprint, right?
It's
In
not a
most high
sprint.
schools,
It's like
it's not a sprint.
the people that run the 400 in high schools generally are people that are run cross country.
Right.
You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
They can keep up a good pace for 800 for 2 laps. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or somebody that runs the 1500 can run the 800. You know what I mean? But in college, I was like, oh, these niggas is sprinting 2 laps. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, but him running the 400, that's a 400, 800 is 2 tough races, and him being slugged up, I had to check him out. But he wasn't really cracking like that. So that win really is going to it's going to change his life. You know what I mean? So good for him, G.
Yeah, it's gonna change his life for sure. Let's talk about Sydney McLaughlin. One of the people that the three of us talked about just kind of being pegged for GOAT status already on our way out there, certainly solidified herself, broke her own world record in the 400-meter hurdles by 0.3 of a second at the Olympics to get her second gold. I believe she's the first woman in the history of the world to go back to back in the 400-meter hurdles, because that's how grueling and brutal that shit is. But she's, John, you interviewed her kind of earlier in her career. I got a chance to see her in high school and college, and it was very obvious that she was going to be one of those ones. But what have you thought of watching her develop and kind of take her place on the global stage as one of the best athletes ever in the history of the world?
I remember like interviewing her and how like she was just super cool, just so kind. And so like before interviewing, I did some research and I'm like, oh wait, she's the one. People already knew who she was. You know what I'm saying? So to me, this situation is kind of like Bron. You know what I mean? Where like everybody was ordaining her a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And she actually had what it took in order to stay focused and to actually do it. I didn't think she'd be this good. It's been amazing to watch. I've watched a number of like documentaries or like mini docs she has. Like she had this little series she dropped maybe a couple years ago. But just to see the dedication she has. I remember when she was first trying to run the 400, and I think she had the fastest time in the 400 this year as well. But she basically like didn't even try to qualify in the 400. It's
just too much. It's just too much
on the body
because you have to run the time heats, the semifinals. So if she tried to do the 400 and the 400 hurdles, she'd be sprinting like 2 miles over the course of a week. You know what I mean?
Sure, that's yeah. So the type of talent she has, where she could have potentially got a gold in the 400 too. But yeah, she's just special, G, and it's dope to see somebody who like with Bron, where yes, you're supposed to be the GOAT, but a lot potential only gets you so far. You know what I mean? Potential really ain't shit, honestly. There's a lot of work that has to be put on top of that potential. Everybody has potential, you know what I mean? As far as like when you get to that level, but to see her do the work and to be as good as she is and to get to where she's gotten, it's been truly insane. And I cannot believe I got to interview her. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
That'll be one you get to tell the kids about. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell somebody, baby, like, yo,
because she'll be the name.
Nigga.
She'll be the name in LA. Yeah, for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if, the IOC tries to do some shit to like spread track out over a greater period of time so she could run the 400 and the 400 hurdles or something. You know what I mean? They do shit like that though, to like,
do you want to do that to somebody though?
No, but
she probably is thankful she can't run both of them. What rule change
you would need to make to slip Simone into a couple more time slots? You know what I mean? Like what?
Right.
The last thing I wanted to say about Sydney that I thought was great, they highlighted, was her time over the hurdles would have been, I think it was 6th in the Olympic finals for the 400 with no hurdles. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
I would say the 400 hurdles are probably the most grueling race, right? Even worse than 800. You think?
It's not healthy. Yeah. I mean, and that's like, it's just not like it is, right? It's not something you should be doing.
In a way, crazy.
All right. The last track story we have to talk about.
I want to ask you this. I want to ask y'all this about the Olympics in general, real quick.
Yeah.
Does this Olympics seem like it's like, does it have a different energy than Olympics in the last, it's like people are more tapped in for it. I don't know what it is about this Olympics, but the energy around it has been so high. I don't think I felt this way about the Olympics since '96.
the ratings are blowing out what Tokyo was.
They're up 80% from the ratings of Tokyo, John.
That's crazy. I mean, when's the last Olympics you tapped into everything? Summer Olympics you tapped into everything in this way. Where I have the Olympics playing in the background. I know, Mike, you do that every year, but like Tyler, like how do y'all? I mean, does it seem a little different?
Yeah, it for sure feels different. I'm not sure exactly why, but I've had this thought, like, I wish we had some shit like this every summer. Way more watching these Olympics than like watching the previous Olympics, you know?
Yeah, because we get basically, and I love the World Cup too. So it's like, you know, you go alternating kind of like every 2 years. I also love the Winter Olympics, but I understand. I've long since accepted I would not have anyone to talk about that with.
I'm sorry, bro. We can always. Did you see me roll my eyes? That was
not curling. I love curling. Tyler, you know, Shar and I went to the world championships for curling in a non-Olympic year in North Dakota. Have I told you that?
How the fuck did that happen?
It was on our road trip honeymoon. Well, we drove all around the country, and I saw, like, we were trying to go to Wisconsin, and we went everywhere. We went like up and down both coasts, through the South, through the Midwest, everything. And I saw that in Fargo, it was the World Curling Championships, and I was like, oh. And she was like, it's our honeymoon, baby. Like, go ahead.
You're a real curling degenerate. You know that?
Curling is like,
you know what I mean? Like, you're dedicated
sport
to this shit.
Curling is like the most ridiculous sport in a good way, in the most complimentary way. Like, if anyone asks you if you think you could be an Olympic athlete, the only answer is curling. That is the only answer you could ever give and actually have a chance at being correct on.
Here's my favorite thing about curling. And I don't think I've told this on the podcast. Do you know, in curling, if at any point you lose, it is incumbent on you. If you feel you've lost, it's your responsibility to take your team to center ice and shake hands and say good curling, and then buy the other team a round of drinks. It could be 20 minutes into the game. If you feel like you are whipped, if it's the Olympics, it is your responsibility to be like
it's a poker game or something. You know what I mean?
But it's built into the like rules of the, like, I think that's the hardest shit.
Did Canada invent curling? Because that's some Canadian ass shit. Like quitting and still being nice at the same time. Like, that's Canadian as fuck. You know,
get into the bar an hour earlier. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, so, but on the Olympics generally, John, I think it's a number of things. Number one, and I've been reading a ton of articles about this, because they really are. These Olympics are bucking the trend of what's been happening with all television viewership, even sports, that it is up 80%. Now, it's up 80% from Tokyo. You've probably noticed how few clips they're showing from Tokyo, because it was eerie, bro. And I watched every event, but it was creepy. You're seeing like the gold medal pole vault. They showed a clip last night in an empty stadium that was built for 30,000 fans.
That's nasty.
It's creepy. And it was creepy for the athletes. A lot of them have talked about, but I know everyone from Long Beach who's a 2-time Olympian said it was painful going to the Olympics without their family. They couldn't bring their mom. They couldn't bring their spouse. They couldn't bring anyone. It was basically in a bubble in 2001 or in 21. I think that energy is automatically something. But one thing the NBC had talked about that didn't occur to me was, like, we think of ourselves as more advanced than television viewers were 100 years ago, but they said, they're like, it's Paris. People want to see the Eiffel Tower. People want to see, like, it's a city you've heard of that you probably want to travel to at some point. So, like, people are just tuned in for the name of it as much as anything else. But then also you have NBC's done a great job promoting the stars. The stars have all delivered. You know what I mean? Like, even if you look at like a Sha'Carri Richardson, who was a huge part of their run up, who didn't win gold, she didn't like miss the final or something. So they've had all these big moments to hype. The time difference makes sense. You can just wake up and watch it. It's not like when it's in Australia and you're like, damn, like 4:00 in the morning. I don't know. Like, you know, like, we're watching this gold medal game is going to be at noon on Saturday on the West Coast, you know? So I think all of that kind of like rolls up into it together. And I'll be honest with you, I think NBC's crushing the shit out of it. Like, we've watched, my family's watched almost every minute of the primetime shit. We'll have stuff on during the day, but every night we just like come home, everyone make sure their work's done. We'll cook dinner and just watch. You know, they're doing a great job. Snoop's been amazing. I don't know whose idea at NBC it was to give Snoop Dogg however many millions of dollars they're giving him.
But $250,000 or $500,000 a day.
A day.
That's wild.
To just to be Snoop,
to be himself.
What a existence he's carved out on this planet.
Is there any unlikelier story? Like, I feel like his story is more unlikely than Barack Obama's. From none of our parents let us listen to Snoop Dogg.
Bro, he was the person they talked about when they like that Snoopity Snoop. That gangster rap. He was the face of gangster rap.
He was the Nintendo of rap music, bro.
You feel me? Right.
There was a tweet that went viral from one dude who was like, my mom called me and said she loves how funny Snoop is during the Olympics, and I had to remind her, Mom, you grounded me for buying his CD. Like that's really been the trajectory of the dude, where he was like,
you have to hide that CD, bro.
Yeah, he was like one of the most feared. I got in trouble for wearing the doggy style shirt to school and when I was in middle school, right? Like,
I mean, that makes sense, man.
The cover is wild as hell, but that poodle was tooting that ass up. But
yeah, bro, like, that poodle was thick, nigga. Goddamn, you know what I'm
saying? It's just wild that he went from the scariest person to Middle America to like one of the most loved people by them. It's
right? Yeah.
That's a fact.
Like, the chat wanted me to mention Gold Zone. They were screaming at the top of their lungs in the chat.
Yeah.
And they can't believe it.
So Gold Zone's another good point. But I do think NBC, I'm not a Peacock dude, but I do think NBC has figured it out. They have stuff like, I'm not watching the Kevin Hart show on Peacock, but I have friends who are. Like, they're doing, I mean, they're doing supplemental stuff. They're doing you can watch any event live, or you could do the Gold Zone. I'll be honest with you, y'all. The Red Zone and Gold Zone shit is like, I don't have I have a hard time staying with the shit. I gotta, you know what I mean?
Is that prime time packages. Is that the boom boom?
It's like Red Zone, yeah, but it's like they'll go to like whatever is happening. They'll flip you.
I have one on my joint. Is like,
you have a quad box.
4 different screens. Yeah. It has the 4 different screens, and I get to choose which one I want. Which I think that's a great option. But and also that prevents me from having to leave a channel and go to another channel. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to toggle between different stations. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stay on that same page. You know what I mean? So that makes it much easier.
They're trying to do that for the NBA now, an NBA Red Zone
smart.
or something like that.
It's smart to have that option.
Like, how do you do that? Like,
I mean, that's a lot of games, bro.
The Sixers have crossed half court. Let's go to the Sixer game. Like, I don't understand how you do that.
But I mean, having it where if you have, I don't know, whoever, like, how would that happen? I don't shit.
I don't know.
Just crunch time, I guess. But this is how I know I'm old, bro. Like crunch time. If watching sports requires anything more than me turning my remote to a channel and that's it, you're probably losing me. Like that's how I know I'm old as fuck. I know that's not the way of the future with all this streaming shit and all that. But if I can't pick up my remote, hit a channel, put the remote down and watch a sports game, it got to be some shit I'm very much invested in. Like, you got to put like a fucking finals game 7 up on if you want me to fucking configure some shit and go to another service and all that bullshit. Hell no.
This feels like what they do on Instagram for March Madness. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll like, I could toggle between the games. You know what I mean? I feel like they set it up in that way. I don't know how it was in 2021. Yeah. I don't think it was like that in the Olympics prior, but so it's just been so much more convenient. Where I go to one station, get to go through whatever the fuck I give a fuck about. It'll say what's going on too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like track, you know what I'm saying? Swimming. It doesn't. I don't have to guess.
Yeah.
You know, what the fuck is this? Do I have to deal with this in order to watch track? No.
We were going to talk about Noah Lyles, but I'm going to say I want to hear this Dennis shit from Josh. So I'm going to say let's save the Noah Lyles segment for Sunday. We're going to have Claire DeLune on to talk USA basketball, everything else Olympics, and then hopefully we'll have a full sense of what happened with Noah Lyles, and we could talk about it in an educated way on Sunday. So Josh,
you got the vid though, right? That's about.
Yeah, he got the vid, but I heard it was like some other medical shit going on with him and whatever, you know.
They did have to cart him off. I think he was on a wheelchair for a second. But anyway, go ahead.
It was a dude on the steeplechase who went down last night who was like, I was worried he was dead. They stretchered him off with the neck brace on his shit. Brace? He tripped on one of the gates and went down on his face
into the water.
Into the turf, and then was like just like not moving. Anyway, Josh, explain the Kanye dentist story to us, please.
All right, I'm just going to read an article really quick. It says Milo Yiannopoulos, the former chief of staff of Kanye West, is alleging celebrity dentist Thomas Conley provided the rapper with nitrous oxide for recreational use, which led to addiction. So essentially, I guess Kanye was just being fed nitrous oxide by the dentist. Kanye's been taking down his own Apparently, the dentist supplied the laughing gas in exchange for cash, making as much as $50,000 monthly, reported by TMZ.
Fucking laughing gas, 50 racks a month.
Dentists don't make that much bread.
I know it's hard. Dentists are the only motherfuckers on the world I know who have that shit. So I can imagine it's a very dry market for it. I can see that being the case.
How do you prove that though?
That's just wild. I mean, and
yeah, and it's also Milo Yiannopoulos, who's like a sociopath.
And the fact that he was Kanye's whole shit is just sick.
And how that's the most serious motherfucker who would be addicted to laughing gas. Like, ain't shit funny with that dude. Like that motherfucker is miserable out here. Like, he must have been doing that shit in private because he was not giggly and that motherfucker ain't laughed since 2013, dog. Like,
he hasn't laughed since the South Park Fish Dicks episode, bro.
Since the oldest video. That's the last time. That slow motion of him and Jay-Z laughing. That's the last time we see that motherfucker.
His
laugh.
dentist does look like an action movie supervillain also.
Oh yeah, that's for sure a nitrous oxide dealer. Look at that motherfucker, man.
I could see you getting addicted to that shit though. Wow, God,
I could get addicted to anything, John. That's why I don't do anything, bro. I told y'all I got addicted to Q-tips and bubblegum in separate summers, bro. Like why my ear bleeding? Oh, because I've been doing the Q-tips like 15 times a day without realizing it, bro. Like noxious, yeah, fuck yeah, you can get addicted to that shit.
When I got surgery and shit, you know what I'm saying? The shit that put me to sleep. Waking up, I was like the best version of me I've ever seen. Like I'm cracking jokes at this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to everybody. I'm hella cool. I'm like, yeah. The person I was with at the time, she was like, yo, can we take some of this shit home? Like, this ain't the nigga that be in the crib. He be over there drawing high as fuck in the corner by himself, nigga. Like, damn. He's talking to strangers. Get this nigga some more of that, dog. You know what I mean? I'm the nigga that she tried to invite company, and I stayed in the back and peed out a window so I have to say hi to her friend. You know what I mean? And I'm talking to strangers. You know what I mean? Get him more drugs, nigga.
I forgot that story, bro.
I niggas put my dick out the window and peed out the window so I did not have to say hi to her friends. You know what I'm saying? I got the second story, dog. That was me. I said, you can have company that's cool, but I'm asleep. I was in that motherfucker wide as hell looking dead at the ceiling for fucking 3 hours, nigga. You know what I mean? Happy as fuck. Not saying shit by my goddamn self, nigga. In the dark. You feel me? Peeing out a window. And I'm cracking jokes with this motherfucking doctor. You know what I mean? But yeah, if that shit was on the street, I probably would. I get it. I get it. If that shit was on the street, I always said if that shit was on the street, I'd probably be out here motherfucking scratching goddamn selling booty hole to get me a hit of that motherfucker, nigga. You heard of the brown eye? Meet me behind this staircase. I got some brown eye for you, bro. Oh, shit.
Bring the balloon animal you've got filled with noxious.
Right.
We'll devour the puppy dog together.
I'll be out here selling pussy. Ooh, shit, nigga.
I love the days when you're like, oh, we didn't get out by the hard out the soft out I told you I had. I'm like, sorry, John, you made too many jokes consecutively about selling your butthole.
I had drugs. To talk about booty meat. Too many cheap jokes available in my brain for me to get out the time I need to.
Jesus. All right, I think that's all. Does anything else from the chat, Tyler? Anything else you want to talk about from the Olympics?
No, I think we Gucci.
Anything from the chat, Josh? We good?
Chat was live today. I'm not gonna front. They're laughing at John right now. And they're saying, Mike, stop helping him.
It's all Mike's fault, not mine. Mike be throwing me these lobs, man. He be trying to get me to keep going, right?
Kanye's dentist is trying to be Bane.
He definitely thinks he's Bane. I don't think he's trying to be Bane. I think he thinks he's Bane.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Now, shout out to the chat.
Thank you to the chat. Thanks to everyone for hanging out. If you listen to this as a podcast, youtube.com/@JenkinsJones. You can come hang out when we record. We'll be live Sunday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. East Coast. So come hang out with us. Like I said, Claire is going to be hopping on with us. Thank you guys for listening. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll see y'all on Sunday. Bye.
Hey.